Welcome back to Unapologetic Voices. First time back in 2 weeks, baby, technically speaking. No new episode last week because we took a little hiatus, a little break. Kyle, drop me a beat. Slower.
Oh.
Yeah. Back. Unapologetic Voices. Kyle and Thomas. We're back. We're ready to kick ass. That doesn't rhyme.
Welcome back, everybody. Glad to see you all again, even though we don't see any.
We're not seeing anybody.
Bitch, let me talk.
All right.
So, due to the sheer incompetence of my co-host, he was unable to
I knew you were going to
post
say some shit.
anything.
I knew you were going to say some shit.
Of course I was going to talk shit.
Hold on. Get it out.
You had the ability to do some shit.
No.
And you were like, I don't like the content we have. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, it was shit.
Dog.
I'm not going to put out bad quality. That's number one. And you agreed with me. And number two, every time I needed assistance or like asking you on like the payment plan for the editing software and things like that, I just got shit back. I didn't get any feedback. I didn't get any.
Figure it out.
Fuck you.
I had to learn all this shit. I had to figure it all out.
And I was ready. I was prepared.
And you failed her.
You didn't give me any assistance or like the path to success.
I had,
This is why you're lead CEO.
The biggest thing is for me is that
you're gesturing like we're talking to somebody.
I'm pointing at my computer.
All right.
Everything that I've done, I've learned how to do myself.
Yeah.
Or I've gone online to talk to like content creators and stuff to figure out what would benefit us.
Right.
Right. So, you could do that due diligence as well.
I don't have that instant access though. I don't know people anymore. I used to know people. I don't know people.
I don't know. You have phone calls that you could make.
I could.
You always seem to pull someone out your ass.
Yeah. Now that we're talking about it, there is people I could call.
Yeah.
The more that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh.
Man. I'm like, you seem to always have just some random fuck that you met.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, they're one of my friends that I talk to every 10 years from now.
Yeah, that's a friend.
And I'm like, all right.
I don't believe in acquaintances, motherfucker. That's a stranger.
Yeah.
I believe in friends.
That's fair.
No such thing as stranger danger.
So.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about first? Because I know we have a lot on our plate. Because we have 2 weeks of content and maybe some Vietnam flashbacks that we got to cover.
Yeah, we both went on excursions.
Yeah.
And so the week prior to your vacation, I was in Virginia. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have the time to record after, really.
Right. And that shit was annoying because I wanted to learn about you hiding in the woods and shit.
That was amazing. I could jump into that real quick if we want to kick it off.
We can, but let's go say a little more of stuff to be said, right?
Okay, so we have reminders for people to comment and be like, you guys didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah. Well, we'll catch it on the next one.
Basically, we'll get reminded and be told on the next one. So, we were gone. I went to Virginia, had crazy adventures, which was awesome. And then you went to Florida.
Yep.
Right? Had some good times. I saw your Snap stories.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Love Florida.
The goal was just to relax as much as possible. That's it.
It seemed like you guys just went and had fun every day. It didn't seem like it was a relaxing thing. Or is that your version of relaxing?
Well, I say relaxing, but we did not relax.
Gotcha.
We did shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was really pissed about you and Pelos doing our pose on the...
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you and I also did a photo shoot for the podcast. That was fun.
I was going to say, we didn't say that.
You had a good time.
We did do a photo shoot, and we'll go on a tirade there.
So. Yeah, because you're a dick.
I am, and I don't give a fuck.
Let it be known, I'll say your little saying, that the photo shoot went really great. The turnout went really great. The editing on the photos was really awesome. Shout out to Erin, our photographer for that shoot. We're not going to tag her in this specific Spotify podcast.
We'll tag her later.
Audio podcast, but we'll tag her later in the premiere of some of those photos that we were taking.
That's fair.
Right?
What I was thinking was we shout her out in the middle when we actually go over the story.
Fair. You know? Yeah, I'll look up her last name because I don't remember it. It's like McDonald or something.
Yeah.
And then we'll...
That's fair. Okay.
We'll hop into that, yep.
Okay.
What else went down? I know you have a story to tell me that you were telling Tracy, our number 2 fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Tracy doesn't listen to the podcast.
Bitch.
She listens to me.
Right.
And she's like, "Is this going to be on the podcast?" And I tell her, "Yeah." And
then she's like, "I don't have to hear it anymore."
The only time she listens is if her name is brought up.
Right.
Just so she can hear if we're talking shit about her.
Well, here it is, bitch. You better listen.
Yeah. And she'll listen to like that 5-minute spiel.
Right.
And then she'll be like, "All right, back to
that's
whatever
enough,
I was
yeah.
doing."
Hey, that's a view.
Yeah, right?
Tell her to rate it.
Yeah.
Monthly subscribe. So, monthly donation, I should say. So, also, I got a new hobby, which is rock climbing. That was really great for me to find and very therapeutic. And you joined me the other day on that. That was fun. That's a small thing. We don't really have to talk about that.
Okay.
Too much, but
so
I'm becoming addicted to that.
Yeah, I know, and it's fucking insane to hear you talk about it every single day. It's only been like 3 days.
It's like, literally been
I want to die
since Sunday, and today is currently Friday. I have climbed 4 times, and I'm just having the best time ever. I already bought a whole bunch of equipment that someone's been coming in. Like I got my shoes, and whatever. You saw those bad boys.
So is that where we're starting?
No.
All right.
So
shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up. Hold on. And so I'm very excited and happy that I found a physical hobby that's not like playing video games and stuff. That it's very therapeutic and very good for you health wise.
That's fair.
That's it.
I will comment on that because there is a hobby that I'm about to start doing.
Okay.
Because
is it climbing?
No, I've been really lazy about. Why'd you get sad?
I'm sad. I know you had a great time when you came.
Oh, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, I really like Obeda a lot.
Yeah, our friend who joined us.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go off the tirade for this.
All right, here we go.
We'll start off here.
We'll start off with the rock climbing.
And then we'll work our way back to the older
So
shit.
we'll go backwards.
Yeah, we'll go backwards.
All right.
Okay, so rock climbing. At first, I did not want to go.
Right.
Because it would have been all 3 of us, and I thought 3 was a crowd. Because in my head, I'm like, we're going to a gym. It's more about workout than fun. But then I was like, but it's rock climbing. Rock climbing is all fun.
Right.
That's what was going through my head. So I was like, I will go.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of not going?
Yeah. And let me say real quick, it's a compliment to you. So it's a good introduction. Is that I didn't invite you because I knew you'd be good at it. And I knew you'd be better than me at it. Now, it seems like we're on the same level, but I feel like you could excel faster if you kept going at it because you're built like a monkey. Continue.
I don't think we were the same level, but okay.
Shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
All right.
More like I was doing pretty good, or more like you were doing pretty good?
I think you know the answer.
I think you're a cunt. Go ahead. I'm heavy, man. I gotta pull myself up.
That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
You tell me you can't do a pull up.
Right.
Right. I can do at least 8 straight, and then maybe another 2 with exhaustion.
No, I could do like 1 right now because I'm so heavy.
Right. So because I'm able to lift myself, I know like when we did that one where it wasn't a hard one, right?
Okay.
But you know how we started off like halfway upside down.
Yeah.
And then I like moved over to one thing, and then I just jumped to the next spot.
Yes, right.
And I held myself with one arm.
Right.
I don't see you holding yourself with your one arm.
I did it.
Easily.
Here's the difference, though. It's not that it's my difference. So you can do a pull-up. Mine was, I wasn't pulling myself up. My grip is very strong.
Your grip is.
I have an insane grip strength. So that's what holds me. It's not me having the back muscles to pull up all this weight right now. It's the grip that's saving me.
That's fair.
And then,
But back to what I was saying.
Okay.
Obeda was the one who invited me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I can't just go in on you and Thomas's turf.
Right.
Like, this is Thomas inviting you for you to go.
Yeah.
That's his connection with you in my head. And I was like, I don't want to ruin it. 3 is a crowd. This is supposed to be a workout, whatever.
He thinks that's a date or something.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be a date, but it's just one of those like, I understand the one-on-one, companionship.
Right.
It doesn't have to...
That's like you and me, and then bringing someone else that we know isn't going to be having fun or something.
Right.
Right.
Like, if me and you were doing this and John was sitting in here, John would just be quiet.
Right.
He's not going to fucking bother.
Yeah.
Now, if we're doing the podcast, he probably will talk shit because of all the stuff. That, all the stuff that we say about him.
Yeah.
But, it's just that odd man out.
Yeah. I get you.
That's what I thought was going to happen at first. But because of the process and how everything is there's no way you're the odd man out, because you climb, you want to rest for a second.
Right.
And then you climb again.
Exactly.
And it's really fun to watch someone else climb.
Especially someone you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch someone else climb what you're attempting.
Right. Yeah.
Because your idea isn't necessarily the right idea.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily the wrong idea. Mm-hmm. But there's always a better way to climb. And so far, I'm hating every single person who we met there that spider monkeyed their asses up on every single thing.
Because the way they did it, they weren't like, hey, can I try? They just right after us.
Yeah. They just did it.
After we failed one.
They watched us fail after fail after fail. And then it was like, oh, I guess I'll just run my ass up here real quick.
Right.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, they're gods. They're amazing. Fuck yeah, they're awesome. And then I'm like, they just flexed on me.
Yeah, they just flexed on us. Yeah.
I know I'm a piece of shit, but damn.
I remember one person out of 8 people that did that was like, hey, can I try that real quick? And we're like, yeah, absolutely. And they did it. They rocked it, right? It might have been that girl, I think.
That girl did ask.
Yeah, it was the girl.
Now, I will say this.
Are we going to talk about the others?
Yeah. Dude, that part was so fucking hilarious.
It shocked me.
But
I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm sitting next to Obeda, right? And let me set the scene.
Yeah, set the scene.
It's me, Thomas, Obeda. Mm-hmm. We just did a rock climb. We're on the side edge of the wall, and these 2 girls come walking up. Mm-hmm. They don't say anything. They just start walking up, and immediately one of them, who's in this small little skirt,
short sports skirt,
right?
Yeah, really short.
And I'm like, okay, cool. She's probably got shorts under there.
Yeah, I just assumed it's like a sports... Yeah.
Right, because I was even wearing sports ones where it's...
There's
it's my shorts, but it had an inner lining that was green.
Right, exactly.
Those weren't my underwear.
Yeah,
they were
you're not flashing anybody, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So I immediately thought that was the case.
Yeah.
And then we learned it was not the case.
Right.
But so this lady goes and starts climbing up.
She's killing the course.
And she's doing great.
Yeah, she's doing great.
And I'm like, damn, she's actually really
Yeah, we're
good.
all down there respectfully, clapping a little. Woo! Yeah,
and me being, the person I am, I will always take my chances to look at somebody.
You're stupid.
So, I look because...
I mean, the angle we were at...
The angle we were at, it was an unfair advantage.
It was unfair, I'll say that. And also, it's not a provocative thing. It was just, we were watching her climb.
Right. The goal wasn't to see her like that.
No, upskirt. But, she was flashing everybody.
Right. She literally was.
Continue.
But I had my boy Obeda next to me. See, Bird agrees.
Yeah.
I had my boy Obeda next to me, and he is this holier than God creature. Well, he can't be holier than God because he's that's what he does.
Let's just say he is.
But he is a very religious man who follows through and through
his Islamic faith,
and he does not believe in staring at women inappropriately, doing all this stuff. And immediately when I saw her climb, I was like, hey man, look at that.
You're so rude. You're like, hey, look.
and then he was he obviously just looked kind of down. He not upset, but he just looked away.
Respectfully.
Right. Me.
You're stupid.
And then I just started looking, and I noticed something, and I was like, okay, so this chick's going up. I was like, all right, cool.
First of all, straight panties.
Yeah, just straight panties.
Straight panties.
And as she's climbing, I noticed this huge bulge in the
No, I swear to God, I thought it was like a pad, or I thought like I was tripping balls, and I didn't want to like, stare and inspect. You know what I mean?
That was the first thing I thought to myself. I was like, she's either on her flow or something, or she has padding so you can't see anything.
Yeah, which is like cool.
Or there's something there that's being used right now. Like, what I mean by that is I didn't immediately think it was a cock.
No,
right?
Me neither.
I thought maybe, this is just some freaky bitch who likes to climb and feel the vibrator go or some shit, right?
Oh, that's where you went with that?
That's where I first thought.
Sure.
Because I didn't want to just be like, oh, it's just some cock I'm staring at.
Right.
So, I don't immediately go gay, right?
Well, I do. But I was like...
But I saw it and I was like...
What's that?
Probably a dude. Like, that's what went through my head. No,
not me, bro.
That's what went through my head. I was like, okay. Probably a dude.
Yeah.
But, I still watched him climb.
For sure.
Or her climb.
Yeah.
And then she made it all the way to the top, and then she jumped down.
Right, and everybody was cheering, and like...
the way she jumped down, she just, like, fell on her back, and then she sprawled out her whole leg.
She did!
And I'm just like...
Yeah,
that's a dick right there, brother.
I still didn't notice at that point.
Oh, you didn't?
No, and I'll add the last part of the story, which is...
I'll let you
She went over to her friend, after everybody was
right
clapping,
in our ears.
Right next to us. Right next to Obeda, pretty much, right? Obeda and I. And I'll do the voice. And she goes over to her friends and she goes, "Hey, that was pretty good, huh?" And I was like, "Whoa!" Yeah. I did not expect that. No, because when I saw the bulge, I wasn't immediately like, "Oh, that's a guy or whatever." And I'm not going to assume your gender, right?
Right.
I wasn't inspecting. We were just taking a glance because she's climbing.
Right. I only noticed by a quick second. Right. I'm just explaining within those like milliseconds of staring for it, because I'm not gonna be the creep that's just like, exactly. I gotta stare.
Right, exactly.
No, I was watching her climb. She did an awkward position where you could see something, and then afterwards it was over. Right. Quick steps. She kept moving.
But dude, I did not expect that at all.
But like the first things that went through my head was all these different things, and then at the very end I was like, probably just a dude.
I had no idea.
And then she fell down, did that shit. I'm like, in my head, I know that's like the proper procedure to fall back and all that.
Fall back, break fall.
But to sprawl out and like have your legs out.
That was a little weird.
I was like, well, now they tell you to bunch up. Like, why would you do that?
She was a little. She
was a little too showy.
I think she was trying to get attention.
She got it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you transitioned. You look very good.
Right?
For a woman. You look very good.
She did very well for herself.
She did very well for herself.
And she's just got to work on that voice.
I got attacked by that Adam's apple.
As soon as she walked over to her friend, and you, dude, the way you lost it.
Oh my God.
It was like.
As soon as they walked away, I was like, holy shit.
They didn't even really walk away. You lost your shit right at the start.
Dude, because I was literally so shocked, because I'll be honest with you, and this is saying this respectfully, I thought she was pretty. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I did think she was pretty, and I wasn't, again, not being like creepy and looking at her or anything. I was just like taking a glance at the gym as you do, and I was like, oh, she's pretty. And then just keep it to myself, right?
Right.
That's when it hit me like a fucking 90-mile-per-hour baseball.
Hey, man, those are the ones where you get everything.
That's true.
Best of both worlds, baby. Best of both worlds.
I'm into it. Yeah. So I immediately went to Obeda and was like, hey, man. Did you like that? Because
what did he say? Because he didn't comment for me.
No, he didn't really comment until they fully walked away, because he's very respectful, and he was like, that was a guy. He was like,
I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, he said it very low.
Okay, that's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, like, can I tell the part of when we first walked into the gym and he had an interaction? Did I tell you? Do you know about that?
I don't know what happened.
I'll make it real quick.
Go ahead, do it.
So let's recap again. Obeda is our young Islamic friend. He's very holy. He's very, nice,
sweetest
guy
in
ever.
The world.
We love Obeda.
It's really hard to hate him because he has like the best work ethic.
Yeah, at work.
Even if he talks smack,
right?
He's the
best.
Everything he says, he'll usually do the opposite of.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if he's talking bad about something, he's really not against it.
Right.
He'll go for it. He's respectful.
Yeah.
He's an honest man for the most part.
Yeah.
He stopped reading manga, so I don't like him as much as I used to.
That bitch.
Right? Like he's been taking heavy breaks on it.
Right.
And me and him used to this is kind of a side note.
Okay.
But me and him used to trade mangas and we would read both of them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he would give me really good recommendations.
I remember
I haven't got a good recommendation.
That's cool.
So I've been like scouring the fucking webs to find a good recommendation, and nothing's like satisfying my needs.
Gotcha. And you.
But me and him kind of read similar stuff.
Well, maybe you guys will ignite the fire again.
Fuck it.
You and your boyfriend.
Okay, fair enough.
So going back to how holy Obeda is, Obeda is, and he won't really say it, like he's not really about gay marriage and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
right,
100%.
But he's respectful. He's like, as long as like people mind their business, I'm not going to judge them or anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's not really into the whole, men fucking men or that kind of thing, right? So let me talk about... Which is
funny why he's even willing to hang out with you.
Yeah, because I'm pretty gay. So, hey, that just shows how respectful he is to everybody else, right?
That's true.
So
behind the scenes, he hates you.
That's true. Real quick, when we first got into the gym, I was already there. I was stretching and like doing some simple climbs before he got there. When he got there and filled out the waiver, because he's been there before, we went up to the front desk. And, this is a very, like, welcoming community. At the front desk, the worker was, like, right down the line of, like, right in the middle of their transition. So, like,
Oh, the guy that I was talking to?
Maybe. No.
Because I talked to two people, and one of them seemed like they were transitioning.
Yeah, it was that one.
But they didn't approach me as a feminine wise. They approached me as like a dude wise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, dude, let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can kind of get the gist that they're transitioning to a man, right?
Right.
So they're right in between, and Obeda comes up to the front desk, and the person asks like,
I can't talk to you.
Hey, no, that would be hilarious though. The person asked them like, your name is this, you filled out this waiver, and like they're being very nice.
Yeah.
And they're so down the middle that Obeda's mind doesn't click for a second, and he goes, "Yes, ma'am, sir."
Yes, ma'am, sir?
He goes, "Yes, ma'am, sir." Yeah, he did the correction thing in the middle, and the person had no reaction at all. But I immediately was like I just looked at him in the face just to try to get him embarrassed.
More than likely, he probably has never came into a situation like that with the way that he does his lifestyle.
Right? Yeah, Yeah, so I was really excited to see what would happen, but
that's funny as hell.
Yep.
That's good to know. I will also jump at the very end there. Mm-hmm. I was 100% serious when I said, Obeda, you want to go back in there and beat that guy's ass?
No, for real.
Because
I didn't notice.
The guy literally slammed Obeda.
No, I would kill him.
Obeda did the thing where like he shifted, so it's like he didn't really take a heavy hit.
Right.
But it's one of those, like, there was more than enough room.
Yeah, and that guy rammed you.
The thing was, it was me on the right side, Obeda right next to me on my left, right? More than enough room for him to walk on Obeda's left.
Yeah.
He went in between us.
No.
And he bumped into Obeda. Immediately, I turn around. Like, I was like...
Yeah.
But Obeda didn't react.
Yeah, because he's
So I'm like, okay, he didn't react. Let's walk outside.
Right.
Because I was about to be like, hey, dog, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm not going to start a fight. I'm not someone who goes into fight mode right
away, yeah.
But I would have been like, yo, just apologize to my boy. We're cool.
Like, why did you do that? Yeah.
Right.
I'm upset that I was in the front and I didn't see that.
Yeah, you walked out, like, so fast.
Yeah.
But I literally walked outside and then, like, the anger brewed in me.
Yeah.
And that's when I asked him, I was like, hey, do you want to go back in there and like whoop that guy's ass? Like, I'll run up on him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our boy, Obeda.
Yeah.
But Obeda's such a monk.
And Obeda was like, that guy bumped me?
Yeah, he didn't even notice. Exactly. He doesn't even notice.
And I'm like, dude, I don't know what that guy had in it. It was just some like white dude with a black beard.
Man.
Bumped right into him. I'm like, I don't care how tired I am.
Yeah, I should have. I don't care how sore my arms are.
I'll fold that motherfucker.
Obeda, shout out to you. We will defend you at any case. Even if you feel no anger, we do. We're sinners.
I will say this: when we got in my car, I didn't know what music he listened to.
For sure.
So I literally put on just not jazz exactly, but just like it sounded like
beats?
it. No, it just sounded like a melody.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't like any techno or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like a melody, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, my phone has that same ringtone." And I'm like, "That's not a ringtone. That's just a song."
No, it's just, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, can you turn that off?"
I was like, "That's really annoying."
And then I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then like I skipped it, and like a real song started playing.
Okay.
And he was just like, "No, like just turn off the music. I can't listen to music."
There it is.
And I was just like, "Oh, I only put it on because I didn't know if you wanted to have like a heavy conversation or anything after a long workout."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "All right, cool. Boom. I love talking. You know I do." So I just paused the music and I started driving home. I learned he only lives 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah, he's very close. He's like on the edge of that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, because I'm right outside of the area.
Yeah.
He's like right on the edge. Mm-hmm. Which I think is
that's why I figured like if he needs a ride home, I could probably just ask you to take him.
Oh yeah, I was 100% down. I did have to take a different way on the freeway.
Right.
But
there's some crazy traffic going on that day.
Dude, that traffic pissed me off so much. I almost got rear-ended like 3 times, twice by like the same guy.
I hate that shit.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was trying. So like the first time what happened was I turned on my blinker to get over. Right. And as I was about to get over, every single car in front of me, or not in front of me, but on that lane, like merged. Hard brake.
Oh, hard brake, yeah.
So if I had tried to do that, I would have smashed right into the guy.
Right.
So like I started turning and then I turned back.
Yeah.
Right? But the guy behind me just, I don't know why, he stepped on his gas to like just go.
Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I turn back, and then he like just honking his horn like this close to hitting me, and I'm like, the fuck? Do you not see the other line? How they just abruptly stop?
Right. What are you supposed to do?
I would have fucking fucked myself.
Yeah. He doesn't care.
So I kept going. I'm like, whatever. And then our lane stopped. So then I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And like I'm looking in the mirror and I see the guy just pissed as hell that he's still behind me.
Good, fuck him.
Yeah. And then fucking the inner line, whatever that line's called, he like manages to slip out and drive ahead, and then he gets hit with traffic, and then we're driving, right? And he sees my car again, and he tries to like cut in front of me, and there was enough window to where I could have let him, but I didn't.
Fuck that. Yeah. Be petty. Yeah.
So I pushed forward, and then he like literally paused like fucking an inch away from my door.
Right.
And I'm like, with a middle finger as I go by.
Yeah,
like, fuck you, dude.
Fuck you, dude.
And then after that, I never saw him again, right?
Right on.
He waited on fucking another car and then magically disappeared.
Right.
But then when I finally had to get over again, the car behind did not want to let me in at all.
Yeah.
To the point where like I was going to miss my exit.
And you were like bumper to bumper.
Right. I'm like, I'm going to miss my exit. We're not going fast.
Yeah.
Like
let me over.
The speed limit was 55. We were literally going like 30.
Right.
Because there was just that much traffic. And I'm like, dude, why aren't you just letting me hop in? It's 1+ person.
Yeah,
chill out.
You're hopping in and then hopping out.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fucker just like stayed at that point, and then I just...
No, for real. I would have just kept...
I just kept turning until I got in, and he had to stop.
Yeah, like slow down, bro.
Like there's no reason to like not let me in.
Yeah.
I understand road rage and all that shit, but I never did anything to him. Calm it down.
Yeah, just use common sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're all going from point A to point B.
Right.
You know what I mean? I never really have road rage unless it's someone that's like tailgating me.
Oh yeah.
Or
unless you specifically do something.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the only time.
If you're trying to get over, I'll let you over.
My wife is horrible with road rage.
I know.
Every single morning she gets in the car, all I hear is cussing, yelling before anything even starts. She's like, all these people are just retarded. They don't know how to fucking drive. And I'm like, yeah, but it's your job to work around those retards.
Yeah, just relax.
Like, just do it.
We'll get there.
And she's like, no, fuck that. And she'll get mad. She'll honk the horn. And I'm like, man, it's too early to be honking horns.
No, that's too early for that.
But that's literally like every single morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now I see why you don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're already...
Well, yeah, I'm good. I don't drink coffee because I sleep well, even when I don't sleep well.
Fuck that, I ain't coffee. I got 8 hours of sleep on like Monday, we'll say. And man, I had 2 cups of coffee that day.
That's fair.
Love it.
I don't know what it is, but at work, like, you know, I don't really talk about work too much.
Yeah.
Or want to talk about work much.
I was going to say, we talk about work all the time.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Let me correct myself. Uh-huh. But, because I've been stuck at my desk.
Right.
Like, this entire fucking week.
Yeah. Bitch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real. I don't know what it is, but this week I brought lunch every single time, right?
Right.
And every time I've eaten my lunch, I like got this sense of like I want to go to sleep as soon as I ate my food.
Oh.
I'd be sitting there doing whatever I got to do, and I would just be like dozing off hard.
It's like a comfort thing.
And yeah, and then I'm like, I got to get up, I got to move around. But then like the moment I get up and move around, I get a phone. Hey, where you at?
Yeah,
hey, where
people start asking dumb questions.
And it's like, I just needed to stand for a moment.
It's like, can I have a second? Yeah.
Let me just. I've been sitting for fucking 6 hours. Let me at least have fucking 10 minutes of walking around.
Right.
And, you know, Arlen gets it for the most part.
Who? Eagle gets it.
Eagle gets it for the most part. Uh-huh. But he's just like, he really wanted that work done, you know?
Right.
And he's just like, coming back? Where you at? Hey, man. And I'm like, man, fuck. But that's the only tirade I'm gonna go off on that one, because even like Sharuk was doing that shit.
Who? So tell me what you're gonna tell me that you told Tracy.
Oh
yeah.
So
it must be good, because it was one of those things where you're like, we got to save it for the podcast.
Right. It was just one of those things where I was too stupid to notice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. I had no idea, but back when I worked at Southland Mall, I had a friend there who I met. Like, this was like, never met her before. She was just some chick who worked at the mall, right?
Okay.
She worked in the piercing place. Like,
oh, yeah, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like 300 something pounds.
Right on.
Like, big girl.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but I started talking to her one day, and she was really cool. And I'm like, okay, so we have common interest, whatever. We started talking about some games. We started talking about some anime, talking about manga, just random shit. And every once in a while, I'd stop in just to talk to her, because like, fuck it.
Yeah.
On my phone, I have her saved as my favorite Puerto Rican.
Nice.
And we used to talk like almost every day, right? Just random shit. And then she ended up getting a new job. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to be leaving to this new job. Keep in contact with me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, of course, which, you know, I'm not going to.
No, whatever.
I don't ever keep in contact
with more of a courtesy thing.
Yeah, it's
like,
just,
yeah.
When you say your goodbyes, she was like a big goth kind of girl, too.
Hell yeah.
So, like, I got her a gift when she left. I went to like a Yankees candles.
Okay.
And they had they just came out with like a new brand of like skeleton
cool
candles, where it was like it's the skull of a skeleton, but then when you burn it down it melts, and like inside is like a full body skeleton.
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought it was a cool idea. So I got it for her. It was like $20. And I was like, fuck it, I'll buy it. I was like, here, man, this, I really liked you, you're really cool. Hopefully, you know, you do good doing whatever fucking job you're gonna go do now.
Okay.
And, you know, I gave it to her. Never saw her since. I had her on Snap, right? And like I would keep up on her stories. That's the only contact that we've ever had where she'll look at my stories, I'll look at her stories, maybe we'll say hello. Yeah. Right? So she went on this whole thing where she started doing fitness and started to like lose weight.
Yeah, good for her.
Right? Amazing. I love that she took the time to change herself. Yeah. She didn't have to, but she chose to, right? Right. And in my head, I'm like, okay, that's really cool. And she just so happened to get like super skinny now. Like she used to be like 300 plus, right? Now she's probably about us, right? Like 200. She still looks kind of big, but not like giant. Yeah. You know, she's at that point where like I could probably pull up a picture of her easily, but I'm not gonna.
What's the fucking story, Kyle?
But long story short, she got a lot skinnier, and I've been watching her transition, right? For like getting skinny, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. She just had a kid. Okay. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that she had a kid, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, little did I know, a few months ago, one of my closest friends from high school just had a kid.
A gentleman?
Yes.
Yeah.
A really good guy. We used to be on the wrestling team together, football team and all that, right? He just had a kid, and I'm like, cool. I love the fact that they had a kid, or that he had a kid and all this stuff, right? And like, I've seen him post pictures of his kid and stuff.
Right.
And I've saw that lady post pictures of her kid and stuff, right? And I'm like, wow, these are cute kids, blah, 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 because I'm seeing these pictures all the time, right?
You're fucking idiot.
But
you're stupid.
I hope you're getting the connection.
Yeah, of course I did.
Turns out she met my boy and started like dating him.
Yeah.
And then they had kids together, or a kid together.
Right.
But I never knew that they ever met each other.
Right.
Right.
But you were seeing the same baby.
But I was seeing the same baby in every photo, and I'm like, I wonder what's going on with this, and I never like connected it. But long story short, one of my good friends, his name's Jason. He had a kid with this girl who I never thought he'd ever meet.
Right. Small world.
Right. It was a small world moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
You're fucking stupid.
Right.
They never posted a selfie together in their story or something?
That's the thing. I always saw the kid with like them, like it was him, and then like one when it was her, right? On the snaps.
Yeah.
And then I saw the opposite of that, where it was her on his snap.
Right.
And then him on her snap holding the baby.
How long did it take you to piece it together?
And well, at first it was kind of like I was looking at it. I noticed that I was on her snap looking at him.
Yeah.
And then like there's like a comment saying he's such a good father and shit. And I'm like, he is a good dad. Because like I looked at him like, I know who that is.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's a good dad. He's great. And then like I switched to the next one, and then it was supposed to be one of those like lovey-dovey like comment moments where like now you go to his, and then it's like she's such a great mom.
Yeah,
and then she's holding and I'm just like, I guess she is a great mom. You know, she's working hard, doing all this stuff, and still managing to lose weight, blah blah blah. You know, and then I'm like, huh. That's the same baby in both pictures.
Dumb. You're so dumb.
Because I started connecting it. And then I was like, I wonder. And I went on my boy's Facebook and I saw like pictures from like months past. And it's just them together. And I'm like, I missed an entire
relationship.
I missed an entire season of like Love Is True or some bullshit, you know? Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And like, this is someone who I've talked to like randomly, right? Yeah. I still talk to him more than the friends that you make. Okay. So like,
that was aggressive.
I'm just saying. Put
your fucking hand on my face.
He's not an acquaintance, you know? Like acquaintance. Whatever.
You're still not there.
I don't care. But long story short, I just never realized that it was their kid, not
I gotcha.
Randomly.
That would be a pretty good mistake, but you're telling me it was over a long period of time.
And it was.
Yeah. Yes. If it was a short, like...
If it was like 30 seconds, I realized.
Yeah, then that's different.
This has been months of me just watching.
Fucking stupid.
Because the baby was just born, like, a couple months ago. Yeah. And, like, the biggest thing was I was invited to the baby shower. Okay. And all that. But I never went.
That'd be awesome if you came and you're like... I know you.
Yeah, that would have been a cool coincidence.
That would have been cool.
But I didn't do that. Nah. Yeah, but that was the story that it hit me and I had to tell Tracy.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like that story.
Because I'm like, oh. Because I tell Tracy about that girl all the time. Yeah. Like yeah, she just said that she's losing more weight, blah blah blah. And like, I don't know. I just think it's nice to cheer on my friends behind the scenes.
Yeah, don't even say it to them.
Like, yeah. Like, I don't care to, like, mention them and say, hey, man, you're looking great now.
Yeah, but you're always thinking about them.
But I keep them in the back of my head, like, I'm glad they're doing better for them.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Like, even with you, like, when I said you're looking a little bit more toned. Right. Right? I would have kept that in the back of my head, but I
appreciated
that. I know you like
You know I love the attention.
And you need it.
I need it so fucking bad. Yeah.
So...
Shout out to my fucking weight loss journey.
Yeah. For
real. So let me tell one part of my story from Virginia real quick.
Okay.
So we ended the last podcast with
I'm going to cut you off here real quick.
Okay.
just to say.
We ended the last podcast with... What, was it good? Was it funny?
No, I just wanted to say that.
We ended the last
that photo you took with like the two I'm assuming they were
my uncles.
They were your uncles?
Yeah.
Okay. They were all like solid like that was a solid good photo of you guys.
Yeah, composition.
Right.
The background. The lighting.
I saw it and I'm like, you know what? If these guys were a lot younger, they'd probably be extremely good looking Asians.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn.
One of us is, bitch.
Yeah. But I was looking at it as like they still looked good. Like literally, their body set was your body set.
Right.
They all had fucking gun arms that were huge.
Yeah.
And then they had kind of, the round body.
Like the dad body.
Which you have.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so
I'm working on it.
Right. You're working on it.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, okay, so this is just like will be his natural form when he's older.
Which I wouldn't mind if I looked like my uncles.
Right.
They're both very good looking gentlemen.
They looked good. And I'm like, that's a solid photo. It was just you guys smiling big over the horizon.
Over the gorge, yeah.
Dude, it was so cool. But that's...
Well, funny enough, that's the conclusion to the story that I'm about to tell. That picture. Okay. Yeah, so... last time we ended the last podcast we recorded, we were talking about going on vacation and stuff, and how I was going to Virginia to get lost in the woods. Now... let me tell you a little part of what happened while I was in Virginia trying to get lost in the woods. No, I was not trying to, but it happened, and I almost died.
Lies.
Yeah.
Not the almost died part, but you were trying to get lost.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to have an adventure.
Okay.
But I'm a fucking idiot. So here's what happened. So we were at this campsite, and we all decided to take a morning hike. It's 8 a.m. Now, let me put a time frame in perspective here. At 12:30, we have an appointment to go to this gorge thing, which is a giant river thing that goes through Virginia. Mm-hmm. So they just call it the gorge. So there's a resort / campsite thing there called Adventures on the Gorge, and we had an appointment for a 12:30 whitewater rafting excursion. Awesome, right? So at 8 a.m., like on the dot,
awesome.
It was awesome.
Very jealous.
Of those pictures I have?
No, just period. I've been wanting to go like whitewater rafting for a while now.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
So at 8 o'clock, I got a coupon. So at 8 o'clock... So at 8 o'clock, we're all going to get up. We have our coffee and breakfast, and we're going to go for our morning hike. Okay, great. The sun is rising. It's beautiful. We're hiking through the woods on a trail, right?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Literally 8 o'clock we start. And we're going hiking, my family and I. It's my mom, her two brothers, and my cousin, which is the daughter of one of them, right?
Gotcha.
So we're going hiking through the woods, and my uncle, who's an avid hiker, he's got an app that shows us where trails are. So we're on this trail. It's like just a 2-mile trail. It's nothing crazy, but it's up and down that leads down to the river of the gorge. So we're going down this trail, and it's now about 8:25. Okay, we've been hiking for a minute, and we get to a point where it starts to go downhill, but not like you would expect. Not an easy downhill. It's rocks downhill. Like large, like fucking boulders, Mm-hmm. And there is a trail, and there's like, it gets to the point where you have to use these ropes that are, somebody like 10 years ago hammered them into the wall. And they're there to use to like help you get down and get back up the rocks. And so my whole family, and it's so steep at this point, it's a strange drop off. It's almost a, what angle would you call this? I would call it actually like an 80 degree angle. Not 90 degrees. It was like 80 degrees. Like that's how steep it was.
Gotcha.
And so my family,
you could easily slide.
You could die, which we'll get there. So my family's like, we're not physically fit enough to do this. And I was like, oh, well, I am. I'll go down to the river. So I'll go down to the river to take pictures because we wanted to get to the river. That was the main point of the hike.
Yeah.
And get back to the campsite.
Was there no other route?
No. According to his thing, that was the only hike way. And if you looked at it, like if I describe it to you correctly, that rock way down with the rope to like, hoist yourself or whatever was surrounded by giant like boulders and rocks. You know what I mean? Like there was no path.
It basically just looked as if there was everything else was just a surrounding.
Exactly. And that's a slope down to the river. So
gotcha.
I was like, I'll go. And as a joke, I climb down there. I turn around and I'm like, all right, I'll never see you guys again. I'll get lost. And I I was like, everybody pose like it's the last time I'm seeing you. So they all did like a little like shrug pose or like a wave goodbye pose.
That's that picture of you just in the woods smiling, right?
No, we'll get there.
Okay.
So I took a picture of them just as a joke, right? It is 8:30. It's literally 8:30. It says it on my phone, the time clock that I took the picture. So I'm making my way down and I'm following this trail, right? Now, mind you, this trail splits into two. There's one trail that looks like it's been used a lot, and there's one trail that kind of veers off to the left. The trail that looks like it's been used a lot is going towards the river. That's where I need to go, right? That's the mission. So I go down this trail, and it's treacherous. We're talking like constant rocks. There's bees everywhere because it's like very like, there's a lot of like wood or foresty kind of flowers.
Aggressive bees or just...
No, gentle.
Okay.
Which was good for me.
Who cares then?
I think I'm allergic, but I'm not sure to the bee stings.
Okay.
I might be, because I remember as a kid I had a severe reaction one time. So anyways, I'm going down.
My brother's allergic to bees.
Good. Now I know how to kill him. So it's about an hour now. It's 9:30. And I am looking at the river. I am no closer to the river. And I've been going down at like an angle. Like... When I say angle, I mean diagonally. I'm not saying I went straight towards the river. I was going through the woods and all these rocks and crevices and whatever the fuck through like, you know, a winding path that went diagonally down towards the river. So I'm moving, let's say east, away from the campsite, and I'm going south. So let's just, for perspective, let's say I'm going southeast at this point, right? It's 9:30, and I'm like, man, it's taking forever to get down to this river. I can see it. It's probably like 4 football fields away. You know what I mean? It's not that far. It's probably like 400, 500 yards, right? So I'm trying to get down to it, and I keep looking at this trail that I'm on, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is such a weird trail because it's been used. It looks like it's been moved through a lot,
people
right?
Have walked through there a great amount of time.
It must be, but there's like dead trees all over it in the pathway. There's rocks jutting out that I have to kind of like scamper over. You know what I mean? It's a weird path, but it's clearly going through the forest, and like the forest is growing almost around it.
You know what that kind of reminds me of?
What?
You explaining that.
Yeah.
There was this cyclist that like he would post on TikTok like every day, like him just riding.
Okay.
And there was just one time he went through the woods and he had an accident. So he crashed.
Yeah.
And there just happened to be like a stick, like just pointed up.
I've seen this video.
Right through
went through his leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that video.
And it's just like, holy.
No, it was
fuck.
crazy because he's just riding.
Yeah, he was just riding.
He didn't.
Like
he hardly even crashed. He really just drove into the stick that just so happened to be sticking out.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that video.
And it just like it caught him. He fell on the ground. He's like, now what the fuck do I do? And then someone else just showed up.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I was looking at the time, and I'm like, well, it's been an hour. I have a little more time to try to make it down here. But the path is weird. Like I said, it looks like a path. It really does. And it's cutting through this thick woods. Like, we're talking thick. Like, so there's trees, right? And there's space between the trees. You can see through it. But the ground is like bushes and all kinds of shit. It's a thick forest. So I'm going down and down and down. And it's now about 9:50. And I'm like not getting any closer to the river. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I pull out my phone. There's no signal. And I'm like, okay, great. I am playing music in my ear just for, I was playing some Lord of the Rings hiking music.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, all right, I have no service. I'm just going to turn around. I turn around and start coming back up the same trail I'm going through. Something happens. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like a fairy forest, bro. I turn around. The path looks different. Like the rocks are bigger going up than it was going down. So it takes me about 20 minutes to like keep climbing up the rocks that I was coming down. So I was walking down and now I'm kind of climbing. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Am I lost or something? And I'm looking and I'm like, oh, fuck, something's wrong here. And so I get farther up the path. It's now 9:30 and I'm looking. There's nothing but fucking 70 to 80 foot rock walls facing me. And the path kind of leads one way and then another way. And I'm like, how did I get turned around? I've been going basically in one direction towards the river. I turn around, the river's still there. I can see it. It's now like 700 yards away, but through thick and thin. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, holy fuck, I've been going down a deer trail this whole time. It was an animal trail.
Oh.
There was no, I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, this path is so weird. It's not accessible. It's not a hiking path. It just feels weird. I'm going down an animal trail the whole time. Animals use that trail.
Right.
And I'm looking around, I'm like, there's like poop. There's deer poop right here. There's like some other shit over here. I'm like, oh, I'm like in an animal den right now. So I'm like, I gotta get out of here. It's like 9:40 when I'm realizing this. I'm like, we gotta be back at campsite by like 11:30 so we can get over to the Adventures on the Gorge and be there at like 12:10, like early, right? I'm like, I gotta get out of here. So I try to go back the way I came.
It's dark.
You're fucked. You're dead. But at least we're in the morning. So I'm going back in the direction that I need to go. I know I need to go this way. I'm not directionally challenged.
Okay.
But the way I'm going is now treacherous as fuck. And it's uphill, up rock slabs, like big ones, like, 5 to 10 feet big. So I'm climbing like an animal.
Yeah, you got on all fours.
I literally was on all fours. And I was getting up there and I was getting cut up like a motherfucker. Because now there's no trails. It's just rocks and like whatever. And there's bushes scratching me. And there's like all kinds of thorns going in me and shit. And I'm like, this is treacherous as fuck.
I had that happen to me before.
Oh, that's cool. So then we're going up and I'm going up and I'm looking around and there's like holes and caves in these rocks. And I'm pulling out my phone. I'm like, I have my flashlight. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm trying to get distracted. So like I don't lose hope basically. Yeah. So I don't lose hope basically. But I'm like, oh, this is cool. There's probably like animals live here, whatever. I hear like a growl. And I see something move really fast in one of the caves. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? It looked like a bobcat. I saw just a flash of something like scoop deeper into the cave.
Big old bobcat.
Bro, it looked like a mountain lion or some shit. And I was like, oh, I'm fucked. No, this is it. And so I have this tiny little knife on me. I am now climbing with it out because I don't know what the fuck
is
going on, right?
You know what that hammer would have did?
Hammer? Don't bring up the hammer.
You know what that hammer would have did? Would have helped you.
Would have saved your life.
Smash into the wall, help you climb a little bit.
So
could have killed anything with that.
That's true. I should have. So I got another like 100 yards because I'm just climbing upwards at this point. I'm now climbing at that 80 degree, almost 90 degree angle to up. And the rocks have changed. It's no longer I can walk at all. It's all climbing. And the rocks are these weird like flat slabs, the horizontal slabs. They're like the crumbly kind, where like if you grab it and it like pulls out or it shatters. And I'm like, I could die here. And I look up, I have probably like 200 feet of climbing to do before I get to the top where I know there's roads and stuff. Like I know where the paths are up there to get back to camp. And I'm like, I have a choice here. I can try to make my way side to side for another hour and a half and be late and miss our adventure. Or I can be a fucking man and I can climb up this goddamn mountain and get there in like 30 minutes. So I go for the hard route. I tighten my bandana, I put the music in, and I'm fucking climbing like an animal, bro. And I think did I show you the pictures of all that? I think I did. So I'm climbing like a fucking savage. I'll show you when we're done.
Okay.
Like a savage up these goddamn rocks. Almost died probably like 10 times. One of the rocks that I grabbed, like I was saying, they break apart. Pulled out of the entire wall that I was climbing. It was like a 20-pound rock. Mm-hmm. It slid down and hit my leg so hard it pushed my ankle out. I could have broken my ankle and it just had to like suffer and call EMS somehow or call like a helicopter somehow.
You had signal.
I had no signal. So I almost broke my ankle and it pulled me back a little and the drop down was death. I am now about 60 feet in the air. I'm past the no-fall zone.
Yeah.
I'm 60 feet in the air on a literally like 85-degree surface of broken apart rocks. So I'm trying to get up to the top. And now I'm getting to points where like, I'm getting worried. I'm like, all right, I need to fucking focus here. And I have a hydration pack. I'm drinking the fuck out of it because I'm sweating. I'm like so exhausted. I'm climbing all this shit. This is before all my like climbing stuff I'm into, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like not in the best climbing shape, So I'm drinking and like climbing at the same time because I'm so exhausted. So I get pretty much to this one point where it's now at like a weird angle before it starts again to a 90 degree, 85 degree angle.
A resting spot.
I take a seat there. And as I'm sitting, I shit you not, it was like an act of fucking God. A broken, burnt tree starts to fall down where I'm resting. Like, literally, like, coming at me. I'm like, what the fuck? And I get up against the wall, and this, like, black piece of bark that's probably, like, 2 feet long falls and smacks me right in the face. So now I'm blind in one eye. and I'm like bruised right here, and like there's charcoal all over my face.
I'm just imagining this fucking action movie you are in.
Dude,
right now.
I was literally, and the music in my ear. Yeah, it was very cool.
The shit that's going through your head right now.
I was literally like, okay, so now I think there's mountain lions behind me, and now I think if I slip and fall, I will die, because it's literally like a 90 feet drop now, the way I'm going up, and now I'm almost at 100 feet. So I'm going up, and I'm like, it is now 10:40. Like, it's been an hour since I decided to start climbing. And I'm like, I gotta get up here. You know what I mean? I gotta zero in. And I kept taking breaks because I'm like, you know, I just gotta focus and like relax, you know, don't stress out and whatever. And I'm in adrenaline mode. I wasn't like freaking out, but I knew I had to get serious. So I'm climbing. And I'm like 200 feet off the ground now, you know, almost to the top of this ridge. And now I'm at this point where there's, it's a better angle. It's about 60 degrees. I can kind of walk up, and there's bushes everywhere. So I have my tiny little knife, literally the size of my palm. I'm slashing and I'm cutting through it like a jungle machete, but it's God. It's not working at all. And so I'm cutting through and I'm climbing, and I'm like climbing with my arms up because I'm getting cut up so much from all these bushes. I hear Tommy just coming from like 50 yards to the left. I look to the left, and my uncles are like, yo, and they like found me, and I'm like, yo, it's like Survivor Man. They took a picture of me because they heard me climbing and like grunting and like getting up to the woods, and they took a picture of me, and I'm glad they did, so like you can see the angle that I'm at. So first of all, I pose 2 peace signs in the air like I'm Survivor Man, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the angle, I'm climbing something that's this steep through bushes and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so finally I make it to the top, and they're all like, oh my God, we were so worried about you. It's 11. And I'm like, we were so worried about you, blah, blah. And I was like, I almost died. And like, they're like, you climbed that? We looked down. It was where we took the picture. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And it's like a 300, 400 foot drop to the bottom with all this broken rocks and shit. Uh-huh. And I was beat up, and they're like, are you okay? Do we need to take you to the hospital somewhere? And I'm like, nah, man, we got to go in this river. And they were like, well, this is beautiful. My uncle immediately was like, he's fine. Hey, this is beautiful. And he's like, let's take a picture. And so we turned around and we took that beautiful picture.
That is such a great fucking photo.
It's a cool photo, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
to hear that you struggled to get to that photo makes it even better.
Yeah. And then right after, they were like, all right, let's head back. And they were like, do you not want to go whitewater rafting? And I was like, nah, fuck that. I want to go. Yeah. I had a great day. I threw up. Immediately, like all the adrenaline and the water I drank so fast, it all came up. Dude, I threw up a lot. Right where we took that pretty picture.
So you know.
Yeah.
Don't do that in the wilderness. Hold it in.
Oh, yeah. Get it. Once I found safety, I think my body was like, give up. Yeah, now's the time.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah, I threw up a lot.
That's great.
Yeah, I think it was because I was drinking the water so fast. But it was like, I drank the whole hydration pack. It's like 5 cups of water, or 5 bottles of water full. All gone.
Like, the gallon wise?
So if you took 5 bottles of water, or 6, and you emptied them into the hydration pack, that's how much it held.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure I drank all of it. Like, I was
so
full.
Like a gallon.
Sure, yeah. But I was drinking it fast, you know?
I got you.
Ooh, the audio podcast. Anyways, you were going to say something that I reminded you of when I was seeing caves and caverns when I was climbing.
Well, not the caves thing. You said that you were like getting stabbed by like thorns and stuff. I had that happen to me when I went camping. Back when I was like really younger. Yeah. I got invited to go camping with like this religious group. Yeah, it was
cult.
It was my mom's thing. It was like, well, they were Christians.
Cult.
Probably. But
I said what I said.
Yeah. But I ended up going, and I just remember that it was probably like, you know, like the people who were watching us were clearly teenagers. Yeah. They didn't give a fuck what we were doing. Right. I was like maybe 9, 10. Okay. I was still like really young. Yeah. All I remember is me and like 12 other kids were playing fucking hide and seek / freeze tag. Right? Mm-hmm. And I just remember I was getting chased by this one kid who was it, and I was booking it as fast as I could, and I like did this turn into the woods, and he chased me into the woods, and I don't know what happened, but it immediately, me and this kid went through like a thorn bush. And yeah. And like I went running, and it just appeared out of nowhere. Right. and we're just running through it. All I know is I came out apart. Just all my fucking skin slashed and shit. Man. And I ended up falling over in there, and like I smacked my hand on like a tree, and there was like one thorn, and it's like right here. It's kind of hard to see, but it just like went right through my hand.
Oh, horrible.
And it like stabbed hard as fuck. And I just remember like immediately just pulling it right out. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, that went into my hand. And I was on the floor and I was like pleading with the kid because he was standing right over me. Yeah. And I'm like, please, I'm hurt. Don't tag me.
Did he tag you?
Let me just at least get out of these bushes. And he's just like, I'll let you get out.
I would have stopped
you. I'll give you 10 seconds to run, and then after that, I'm getting you.
Oh, that's nice.
And I was just like, thank you so much. Got up, booked it out of the woods.
You're like, please don't tag me.
Yeah. Because that's all I cared about.
I want to win the game.
I didn't give a fuck that I had, like, cuts all over my arm and body and shit. And then I went to like the counselors or whatever, and they were just teenagers, and I was like, hey, I just went over there and I pulled, like, I had the thorn, and it was like a long ass needle, and I was like, I just pulled this out of my hand, should I do something? And they're like, what does it look like? And it just looked like a little circle, like right?
A hole, yeah.
And they were just like, nah, you're good, kid.
There you go.
Just walk it off. You go.
Walk it off, bitch.
I was like, all right, if he doesn't care, I shouldn't care.
There it is.
You know?
Yeah.
Obviously, it healed, but it's still scarred.
That'd be funny if, like, it got infected right after.
Oh, man, that would have sucked. But yeah, I just had that thorn just ripped through my hand. But that's what I was thinking when you were like, I was getting cut by thorns. Because I remember you coming, you had scratches all over your arms. Yeah, I was fucked up.
I was really fucked up. My legs looked horrible. I wasn't in shorts, but it was like they were cutting through my legs so bad.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
Shout out to Eddie Bauer. Probably saved my life. I was wearing like Eddie Bauer like hiking pants and shit. Super nice.
Okay.
Very thick.
Okay.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Tell me a little bit about Florida.
So, Florida was fun. Mm-hmm. I was annoyed for a good portion of it.
I feel like you always get annoyed nowadays.
Well, no. So, like, I had valid reason to be annoyed. See, I haven't told you any of this shit.
What do we got?
So,
he is sitting up, ladies and gentlemen.
So, literally the first night we get there, so like we all drove. It's the morning time because we drove at night to get there. Like, it's not morning. We got there around like 4, 5, right? And we're like, we still got a lot of the day to do whatever we want, right? And so like as soon as we get to the house, everyone's like, let's pick our rooms and stuff. And before we even started, right? Me and Courtney were like, because we booked this, we're getting this room, and we told everybody.
Oh,
right?
For sure, right.
And the only person that didn't know was McLean.
Okay.
So when we went down there, McLean was already unpacking his shit, and he was in that room.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are you doing down here?
Yeah.
Right? It's the only room on the first floor. So first floor had like a huge kitchen, living room area. Mm-hmm. There's a garage that had like pool and all that. That was cool. Washing machines and stuff. And then like the bedroom on the other side. And it was the only one. And then it had like a really big bathroom. And he was like, yeah, this is my room. I'm like, no, it's not, bitch. You better go find a room upstairs.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the room that we claimed. And he's like, oh, you already claimed it? I was like, yeah, we claimed it the day we paid for everything.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And just started unpacking.
Good, no questions.
Like he didn't argue, nothing. He just grabbed all his shit.
Yeah.
And then he went upstairs. He got his own area. Everybody had their own room. There were 12 bedrooms.
That's nice.
There was 9 of us.
Damn.
Yeah. So, you know, it was cool. So we got there, we hung out for a little bit talking with everybody, and then I got tired, right? I just wanted to lay down.
Yeah.
So I go into my room, and I'm like, because we went swimming and shit, and I was like, whatever, I'm going to shower. My wife showered, and then I wanted to lay down on my bed. We put on a movie, right? And you can hear the movie from the other room. Like we put up the volume, it was loud, right? Without skipping a fucking beat, fucking Johnny just knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, blah, blah, blah. Can I come in? And we're like just laying there chilling, right? And we're like, no, we're just trying to relax right now. And then fucking a few minutes later, Pelos comes knocking on the door. Hey, are we going to hang out? What's going on? And then we're like, no, we're watching a movie. And then fucking Donnie comes a few minutes later knocking on the door. I'm like, why the fuck are all of you knocking on my fucking door? I get it. It's a fucking bit.
You're the life of the party.
No.
It's a bit?
It felt like it was a bit. Okay, right? Yeah. And then fucking, we're like, whatever. We got up. We started like doing some stuff. And then, we left the room. We started hanging out with them, doing whatever. We played some games, did some shit, and then the next day happens, right?
Okay.
I'm like, okay, cool. We're doing all this shit, and then again, I leave and I go into my room because I want to just chill.
It's relax time. Yeah.
Right. And then my wife comes in. We were planning on doing some shit.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. Let's go for it. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. We have vacation.
Yeah, we turn on the TV. We put something on. We start going at it. And fucking, without a fucking beat, damn. Donnie on the door. Hey, I have a few questions. And then we're like we don't want to talk to them because we're doing our thing.
Right.
And we're like, he's like, can I open the door? He's like, no, go away. And then without a beat, fucking the next dude comes, knocks on the door. Like, what the fuck are your issues that you can't fucking just not bother us? You know?
Uh-huh.
And so, like, the whole time we were there, I pretty much couldn't fuck because they just decided to be on my ass the entire fucking time. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. And what pissed me off, like, I know Pelos is going to hear this shit, but what pissed me off is when Pelos went into his room with his girl, they didn't fucking bother him at all.
Why would they?
Their thoughts were, let's be considerate and let them have their time to do their own thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck you niggas.
Like, stupid.
Dude, it's like, fuck you guys. Like, how dare you fucking say that to me and then you guys don't do us the same grace.
Oh, man. That's a funny bit. You know what it is, though? I think it's because our friends see you as, like, the life of the party.
And
you know what I mean?
One of the things that was like...
Like, you're willing to do anything, like, so they're like, what does Kyle want to do?
I'm going to say this, though. Yeah. This is, like, my complaints, right? Other than that, I had a fucking amazing time with them. Sure. It was great.
Yeah.
Right? But one of the other times was me and Courtney, we cooked for everybody, right? Like, we stayed up later. We wanted to just chill. So we cooked... we made food, and then we were like, we're not putting shit away. You guys can do it.
Yeah.
We fucking left. I went to the bed. Courtney came to bed. We just laid down. I turned on the TV, and fucking without a beat, those sons of bitches fucking knocked on the door again, saying, what should we do with all this food? Bitch, go put it away.
Right.
Do what the fuck you gotta do.
You're the parents of the group.
Quit fucking around and just fucking do it. And they're just like,
my God.
They're like, oh, well, should we put it in a bowl and then throw it in the fridge? Yes, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, like a normal person.
Just fucking think for yourselves and fucking do it.
Hey, bro, they can't do that.
No, they can. They're not fucking idiots. They just chose to be fucking idiots for some reason.
They're on vacation.
Nah. Fuck that. They were just fucking annoying and bothering every single time.
That's pretty funny.
But other than that, it was fun just going places, hanging out, joking around, doing shit, right?
Yeah.
Because we went to Epcot or whatever the fuck it's called.
What?
Epcot?
Epcot.
Yeah, that word.
You said Epcot?
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
I do that a lot for certain words. Okay. I think it's funnier.
I gotcha.
But we went there. I'm not a fan of that place.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's not as entertaining as the other ones.
Epcot is one of the few ones that I haven't gone to because I heard it's not as entertaining.
Right.
It's more for eating and drinking, from what I've heard.
I feel like it's more for people who, eating, drinking, people who love taking pictures.
Yeah.
And like sightseeing wise.
Is it pretty?
Oh, it's all nice. It's really cool. They do a lot of stuff to where like it's more interactive.
I gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
And their rides are all right. They're cool for the most part. They were just mainly like you get on, it's just a track that you just follow and see everything.
Gotcha.
It's not crazy.
Yeah.
But it was a good time over there, right? We went there. That was like our first like big place that we went to. And there was another John situation.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So we
Do tell.
So I'll say this.
Yeah.
This part kind of annoyed me because everybody woke up and we were all moving around doing our things in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. And we go and we get breakfast. Or like we don't get breakfast, we make breakfast, right? And we all start eating. Everybody's doing their own thing, right?
Right.
McLean gets up. He ends up not eating any breakfast. Right?
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. Who cares? John, he goes in there. He eats breakfast.
Okay.
Right? He's eating, blah, blah, blah. And then fucking we get there and we get on our first ride, which was that giant circle ball thing, which was cool. But I think that's one of the most boringest rides in the entire park.
Okay.
But it's still nice and cool looking. But we go from there. And then it leads into like an area where you can get food, but then the next ride is literally right next to it. And I thought we were just going to go boom that ride, boom to the next ride, right?
Okay.
And just keep moving, right?
Right.
Keep the momentum.
Experience everything.
Right?
Yeah.
But immediately McLean's like, I'm going to go get food. And he just like split from the party. And I'm like, cool, his loss.
He's an adult.
Right?
Yeah.
And John was like, I'm going to go get food too. Like he didn't just eat 30 minutes ago.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why? And then he goes and he eats with them. And then, you know, we call him. We're like, hey, we're over here at this ride. We're about to get on right now. Your guys' choice if you want to come meet us.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we weren't waiting. Right? I told everybody this time around, we're not waiting for people. We're doing what the fuck we have to do.
Yeah. You gotta enjoy your day yourself,
right?
If you have to.
But the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, apparently the only way that you could get on it is if you reserved an appointment to get in the line.
Yeah, Disney Lightning Lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had to reserve your appointment just to get in the line.
Yeah.
And Courtney did it, right? She reserved it for like 1:30.
Okay.
And
now you're on a time crunch.
Now we're on a time crunch, right? So we go to that one ride and we're like, cool, we still have about an hour before we have to get on that ride. Mm-hmm. So we're like, let's go to Mexican Town or Mexico, whatever. Because like, you know, they had their own little place that says Mexico. We go over there. We go into Mexico. They have like a Mayan Aztec giant like, building. Yeah. It's really cool. Right? We go in there. Inside it's a whole store, the whole like place you can get dinner and lunch, and like they have a ride inside there. Okay. So like we're like, okay, let's just hop on the ride. We hop on the ride. We're just riding it. McLean and John finally catch up to us. Like they get over there. Yeah. Right. And once we ride it, we find the other half of our group didn't get on the ride yet because they didn't know there was a ride there. And I was like, okay, cool, let's ride it again. So like we rode that ride twice for no reason. Yeah. And it was cool. It was fine. Whatever. We rode it twice because Pelos didn't get on it and like whatever. And John's like, hey, I really got to use the bathroom. And we're like, okay, we'll go find a fucking bathroom. And but we're on a time crunch. And I looked at the time and I'm like, but you got to meet up with us like fast. You can't be wasting time. Right. Right. And I told him, I was like, because we're about to leave and go back to the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. We got to get over there. And he's like, okay, that's fine. He goes, he disappears, right? To find the bathroom, wherever the fuck the bathroom was. And we're like, okay, well, John's going to catch up to us. He knows the path. Yeah. Right? Right. In my head. You would hope so. Because we started from the building where he ate. If you walked outside to get to the ride where we were at, you have to walk right past the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. So, I don't have a way to like draw it out, but you're not describing. I'm gonna do it. So he's at this building, right? Okay. Right here is Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. If you walked past Guardians of the Galaxy, a little further up, there's another ride. Okay. That's like further back, and you could see them as you go, right? Yeah. And then after that, there's a huge walkway bridge that leads you to the Mexico. Okay. So you're going here, you're going like this, straight here. Yeah. Okay. So if we're following this pattern, we're like right here. Yeah. Right? All you have to do is walk here, walk back down. That's it. and you're there.
I got it.
Right?
Yeah.
Fucking...
This is John you're talking about.
This is John we're talking about.
Okay.
I fucking call him because, like, we leave, we get over there, and I'm like, it's already been like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
too long.
Where the fuck is John? How long does it take to squat and plop and then just fucking get moving?
Yeah.
Because I told him, don't spend too much time doing this stuff. Right? He answers, he's like, I'm over here in Little Mexico. I just got out of the bathroom. And I'm like, the fuck? Why'd you take so long? He's like, there was a line. I was like, okay, cool, whatever.
Fair. Let's go.
Like, I'm not going to argue with you.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, well, make your way over here because we got to check in. And if we miss our check-in time, we lose our chance to get in line.
Yeah.
And he was just like, okay, cool. I'll be there in like 2 minutes. Right?
Okay.
That motherfucker didn't show up for another 20 minutes.
What the fuck?
And so, you know how I just explained that little map, right? So when you go into like the cafeteria area, before that one, if you go a little bit behind that, that's where the big giant circle ball is and that ride is. That's the very start of the place, right? Okay. Fucking John went from Mexico. So there's 2 roads that you could take.
Okay.
Right? He went from Mexico, came up to where the road split, right? Instead of going to the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy road, which he walked, he went before, he's done it. Right. He should have known the way.
No.
He goes the other way and ends up in front of the fucking park again where the giant ball is.
Nice.
Now, if he corrects me later and says that's not what happened, that's what the fuck he told me.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So, because he called me, he's like, I'm over here next to the big ball. And I'm like, why do you see a big ball? Like, no matter where you are, you can see the big ball.
Right.
But, like, he was saying it as if he was close to it, like, next to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the fuck are you next to that ball, John? And he's like, well, I thought this was the right way. And I'm like, dude, you literally walked past the one fucking road that would have got you straight to us.
Right.
So John ends up fucking backtracking, going back to fucking Mexico, and then asking
I wish.
Right. He goes back over there, fucking gets lost there again, fucking comes back, and then he ends up coming, not using the road that we used. He comes back using the road where you walk back to the front, come back, and then there's like a shorter walkway area. So he looped around like 3 times trying to get to us when there was one road that would have just been a straight shot.
Nice.
That he just so happened to miss every fucking time.
This is why he doesn't drive.
Right.
Right.
And I'm like it was one of those things that he does that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
That when I call him and I'm like, dude, where are you? And like, he gets annoyed of me calling him, right? So I'll call him and he'll just hang up on me. Like, he'll ignore the phone call.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I'm trying to get your whereabouts because we're getting pestered by the people to go in.
Yeah.
Because they're about to let a whole nother group in instead of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if this motherfucker doesn't answer, we're just going to walk in because fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I told this son of a bitch we're not waiting for him. How fucking dare he, like, pull some dumb shit. Like he always does. And I was super pissed, right? And I call him again, and he fucking answers. And he's like, I can see... Because, like, the Guardians of the Galaxy have, like, the giant Guardian of the Galaxy ship just in front of them. Right? And I told him, I was like, can you fucking see that ship yet? He's like, yeah, it's right in front of me. I can see it right now. And then I look like across where like the walkway where we came, and I look and I'm like, I still don't fucking see him. Where the fuck is he? And then, you know, I turn my head and I see him on the other side, and I'm like, so he came the fucking long way again, like a fucking idiot. And so then he comes walking over, and then he's like, hey guys, I made it, blah, blah, blah. Acting
so nonchalant.
Acting like he didn't just fucking waste 20 minutes of our day.
That's the part that pisses me off, is the nonchalantness.
Yeah.
Like, no, you need to know you just fucked up.
Like, no, fucking apologize and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have fucking walked off. And, like, fucking get to it. Because, you know, like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
But that ride was fucking awesome. It was really good for the most part.
It's the best ride.
It's the best ride there.
Yeah. It
is not the best ride
in Disneyland
ever made.
Gotcha.
But it's just one of those, like, compared to the fucking kiddie rides that we were, like, literally the Mexican ride that we got on was literally just a fucking, like, water boat.
Like a trolley cart?
Yeah, that literally just goes and then goes around, and then that's it.
Yeah.
There's no,
Yeah.
No crazy shit. That one was, we watched a whole scene. It played like a random song.
Right.
And it was just like jamming while like getting slapped around, moving awesome. All over. It was great.
I've seen the start of the ride like on YouTube. And I always skip past it because I'm like, one day I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Because I heard it's awesome. It's
really good. I would recommend going there just to do that ride.
Yeah.
But it's not worth going there just to do that ride.
Yeah. Well, I would go because I think Epcot is where they have like the Ratatouille restaurant and stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah. They have a bunch of stuff there.
Like, I love the themed stuff and I would like to eat and
I
drink.
love the themed stuff too. And we did get like snacks and stuff. We didn't like go into one of the main restaurants to like get hard like food. Or heavy.
You'd have to do the lightning thing, I'm sure. Or like the Disney like reservation thing.
Maybe.
I don't like that stuff.
I don't like that either.
It makes it more stressful for you. Because, I go to Florida just like you, like twice or thrice a year.
Yeah.
I'll mostly go to Universal. But when I go to Disney, for Star Wars especially or something, right? That stuff, like, I get why they added it because of how busy it is. And it does simplify some things, I will say.
Yeah.
But it stresses me out knowing that I either will never get to do something because all the like times are booked, right?
Right.
Or whatever. Or if something happens, like a party member decides to go do some dumb shit, right?
And you guys wait until the very last second.
The very last minute,
like,
and then they're like, sorry, fuck you, yeah. You have to come back in 5 hours or not at all for the day.
Yeah.
Like, that's so stressful.
So when we first, like, this was a few years back when I went with my sister and my mom.
Yeah.
We didn't know about that, right?
Right. It was brand new probably back then.
Yeah. So, like, we went to go get on one of the rides, and they were like, do you have a reservation? And we're like, what the fuck do you mean reservation?
What's a reservation? Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, here, get on this app, download it real quick, and then mark yourself that you want to get on this ride. And then we're like, what? And then we look at it.
You're basically being forced to download this app.
Right. Yeah. And we look at it, and they're like, it literally says nothing available for today.
Right.
And then we're like, well, what the fuck does this mean? They were like, oh, so that means every single person has already booked the spot, so you can't ride this ride. And we're like, what?
Yeah, it's so weird.
We paid to come here to fucking have fun. What do you mean rides? We can't get this ride?
Right.
Like, you're just completely closed it off. There's like, this ride is brand new. It's just really popular. There's not enough people working it to have a lot of like push
traffic, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, that's fucking stupid.
It is stupid. She's on the couch.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'd rather wait 3 hours just to get on the fucking ride.
Yeah, I'd wait in line. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Than to fucking be like, oh, let me just book my time and then come back during it.
That's really weird.
Now, I will say, the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, it was really nice knowing that we did book it.
Right.
And we were able to just
guaranteed
come at that time and we were guaranteed it.
But when you didn't know about it,
yeah, right?
I'm sure that pissed you off.
It was our first time finding out about it. Yeah. We didn't get to fucking do, what was it? I think it was the Moana ride or, I don't know if it was Moana. It was either Moana or Ratatouille. One of them just opened up.
Gotcha.
And we weren't allowed to fucking do it.
I assume it was Moana.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because of that situation.
Right.
And we're just like, whatever. Like, we're going to live our lives. We're going to move on. But that was like a big bummer for us because we're like, why would this even be a thing?
Exactly.
Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
But now that we have used it, I can appreciate the fact that it exists.
No, like, I will say it's an improvement.
Right.
But it's still got its downs.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, Florida was fun. We, like, a lot of goofball shit kept happening to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was this one part where, like, we were driving, and we were driving, and we, like, Courtney pulled up way too much.
Okay.
So, like, we were, like, in the
you were driving.
I was not. Courtney was.
A car?
Yes.
Okay.
My car.
Sorry. I thought you were, like, on a ride or something.
No.
Okay.
I'm outside of fucking Disney.
I see what you're saying.
We were just driving. Fuck, I don't know why. It just felt like it was too much on my wrist.
Yeah.
But we were driving on the street, just coming back from eating dinner, right? And when Courtney went to stop the car, because the light changed really fast, we kind of parked right on the lines where like people
walk. Crosswalk,
yeah, and we were like, well, should we back up? I was like, we could, but then like the people behind us did not fucking let us back up.
Right. Yeah.
And so what ended up happening was we like looked to the side and there's this magical guy just in skates and like he had like what the fuck is that kind of shirt?
Like the Vegas shirts?
You know, like those silk like shirts that they're not button ups, but like you can just tie them or something.
Okay.
So like he was wearing a normal outfit and then he had that silk robe and he's just like spinning around in like a circle.
Yeah, just having fun.
And he's just like riding around and we're just watching him and we're like, what is this magical creature we're just looking at right here?
Right.
And like he had like booty shorts on.
Yeah.
So like he's doing his thing,
Absolutely.
Right? And we're like, wow. And then we didn't notice, but there was a guy who like was walking the crosswalk, went around our car, and then came up to my window and was like, fuck you!
And the whole time you were watching the other guy?
Yeah, we were watching the other guy, and the guy's just like, oh!
That's pretty funny.
Aggressively flicking us off. And then I rolled down the window. I was like, I'll suck your dick. And then we drove off. But like shit like that would happen.
Yeah.
And then I haven't even told the story. Like, so I'm like jumping around between days, right? Because whatever. It doesn't
it was like a weekend long.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter what day we're talking about. But the very first day after not like our first day getting there, very next day.
Gotcha.
The very next day, as soon as I woke up, Pelos's exact words were, because I went into the fridge and I grabbed a Sprite. He was like, he looked at me, he was like, hey, you can only drink that Sprite if there's liquor with it. And I'm like, what? Are you drinking right now? He's like, no. And I was like, but we're gonna? And like literally I just woke up.
Right.
And he's
on vacation.
He's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I grabbed my fucking bottle of rum, opened that bitch up, poured like half of it into my glass.
For sure.
And then took my Sprite, dumped that bitch in there.
Yeah.
Took a sip and I was like, yup, disgusting as fuck.
Rum and Sprite is crazy, by the way.
Yeah. So I was like, disgusting as fuck. And then I just kept drinking it, right?
Right.
And then Johnny was like, dog, that's too much liquor. What are you doing? And I was like, what are you talking about? It's just enough to where if I drink on this for a couple hours, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I don't have to like go back and do anything else like crazy. So, you know, I was just sipping on that the whole time. Pelos, not a fucking drink. Johnny, not a fucking drink. McLean, literally drinking as soon as he woke up.
Nice.
Right? And I'm like,
I always count on him.
I'm like, all right, well, if you're drinking, I'm drinking too. Fuck it. I'm not going to let you drink alone. Right. And he's like, yeah, I'm on vacation. Usually I kind of cut back on drinking, blah, blah, blah. Because I guess he had like a whole drinking issue where he was just drinking way too much lately. Mm. He was just like drunk every day. And he was like, I got to cut back. But for this, he was like, I'm not going to cut back. I'm drinking today.
Right.
Which he only really drank like heavily like 2 days out of the whole thing, which was like, okay, whatever. But so me and him drinking the whole day together, just casually, him getting completely fucked up. Like, and I was doing fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, but when I like casually drink and I drink consistently, I don't get heavily fucked up. But like, it was to the point that McLean was just doing shit and he had no idea he was doing it. Right? Let me set the scene. So me and him are just hanging out in the pool the whole time, having fun, doing our thing, just chilling. Everybody else comes and like we're all swimming. And then later on we play hide and seek in the house, which was fun as fuck. But like McLean throughout that time is like progressively getting more fucked up.
Yeah.
And he's like spitting all over the house.
Okay.
And just walk, like he'll walk around and
are you saying
like,
spinning or spitting?
Spitting.
Why?
I don't know. But like he'd be walking around the house and just be like and just like
what?
Just spit on the floor.
No way.
Yeah. And like And like apparently he did it at the stairs. He did it like in a random area.
What the fuck?
He just did it randomly.
Like a cat marking its territory?
I guess. I stepped in that shit when I was like going up the stairs. And I was like, what the fuck is there water on the stairs for? Who's trying to kill us?
I would punch him in the dick.
You know?
Yeah.
But like we were hanging out doing a bunch of other stuff, right? It was kind of weird because he disappeared for a little bit, right? And fucking John was walking around doing his thing. And I was like, okay, we're all going our separate ways. I went to my bed to just lay down and just, mellow out.
Yeah.
And I was going to turn on the TV, just put something on. Okay, whatever. Fuck you.
Get out of my personal space.
Okay.
Don't touch my personal space.
Back out of my personal space.
I don't like anybody in my personal space.
Too close to my personal space. But
is there anybody around me? Sorry.
Yeah. But so what ends up happening is John comes into the bedroom with me and he lays on the bed with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's pretty gay.
Well, whatever. He just lays down and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Was this before the Guardians of the Galaxy incident or after?
Before.
Okay. Because I would have beat him senseless.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though. Like, I left the door open, right? Mm-hmm. And people could see me laying on the bed.
Yeah.
So John just came in, laid on the bed with me, and he was just chilling on his phone. I was chilling on my phone with the TV on, whatever. Yeah. And then later on, he got up and just left, right?
Yeah.
And then McLean showed up and laid on the bed.
I like that the bed's just the chill zone.
Yeah.
There's no couch, it's just the bed.
My room was just the... Everyone can do what the fuck they want and just come into this room. And I'm like, fuck these people.
Yeah.
Like, because I just wanted to chill and mellow out for a moment. Because, like, I didn't feel dizzy, but I felt like if I drank more, I would start to feel a little bit dizzy. If that made sense, I guess. So I'm like, whatever. I'm going to lay down, drink some water, calm down a little bit. But fucking McLean comes, lays on the bed, and he's just laying on the bed, like, just talking nonsense to me. And then I'm like, yeah, whatever, man, blah, 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 joking around with him. And then he does that thing again where he's gonna spit.
Okay.
And he's just like, reaches in his mouth, and he's like, oh. And he like swallows it or whatever, and he doesn't spit.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And he like wipes it on his like leg.
That's so weird.
And I'm just like, all right, cool. And he passes out.
Great.
Right? He passes out on the bed, and then I'm just like, all right, cool. And I'm continue doing things, and then he starts to throw up.
What?
Yeah.
God,
and he throws up on my bed.
No. And not even on the floor?
No. And I'm just like...
Do you think the Airbnb guy will listen to this podcast?
No.
All right, great.
Oh, I did leave my card.
Son of a bitch.
But he throws up, and I'm just like, this motherfucker, right? And it's on my side, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't on Courtney's side, or else she would have been, like, really pissed about it, right? And it was only on the blanket. Like, it didn't get to the bed.
Yeah, it was on the comforter.
Yeah. So, I was just like, well, damn, this motherfucker. And I left him there, and I'm like, after a while, I get up, right? And I see pills that are, like, on the bed. Okay. And I'm like, where the fuck did these pills come from? Uh-huh. And then I guess he woke up and just left, right? Okay. Because, like, I didn't stop him. Yeah. You know, he got up, left, and then later on I ended up getting up, and then, like, I found because, like, I was going to, move the blanket. Right. And I found these pills, and I'm like, maybe he was going to take these pills, but he didn't take them because, he passed out. Yeah. And, like, I went up to him, and I asked him, I was like, hey, are these your pills? And he's like, no, I didn't bring any pills with me. And I'm like, whose fucking pills are these? Yeah. And then he's like, I don't fucking know. Like, he's fucked up.
Are they John's pills?
So... Okay. He got up.
The plot thickens.
So, yeah, that's the thing. So, like, these flip-flops that I have, I brought them with me just so I could walk around the house, right? Okay. My flip-flops in my room disappeared. Okay. And I'm like, where the fuck my flip-flops go? Mm-hmm. And I started walking around the house looking for my flip-flops. And then, I had those pills in my hand. And then I went to John. I was like, maybe John came in the room and he was going to take those pills, but he left them on the bed. Mm. That's what I thought to myself. So I go up there and I'm like, hey, John. And then I was like, did you steal my fucking flip-flops, you son of a bitch? Because they were in his room. Right. Just chilling. Yeah. Right? And he was like, no, they just been here. I don't know when they got here. And I'm like, all right, well, and I like showed him the pills. It was like a full pill and a half pill. Yeah. I was like, are these your pills? And he looked at them. He's like, yeah, that's my medicine. Why? And I was like, it was on my bed. Did you forget to take it? He's like, no, I took my medicine like hours ago. I don't need to take any more of them. And he was like, well, why the fuck were these on my bed? He's like, I don't know, dude. My pills are right there if you just want to look at them. Because, like, he left them out, right?
Yeah.
Like, he had no reason to hide them.
Right.
And then fucking Donnie comes out of his room, and he's like, did someone stuff pills under my door? And then Pelos had pills in his room, too.
What the fuck?
Which was, like, little pills.
Yeah.
And he's like, who the fuck put all these pills all over the place? So McLean's drunk ass stole my shoes, went up to John's room, saw his pills, and just started grabbing them and putting them places.
Oh my god! Imagine if he took them.
They were
They're for his seizures, right?
So luckily those ones weren't his seizure pills.
Okay.
They were his sleeping pills.
Okay.
Because
same thing. What if he started downing them?
Yeah, if he started downing those pills
with alcohol in the system too.
Deuces, motherfucker.
Oh my god, McLean.
But McLean fucking just went around with John's pills, just handing them out like candy, throwing them everywhere.
This fucking guy.
And like, it was like one of those like, what the fuck why is he doing this shit? And then we played hide and seek, and hide and seek was really fun.
You guys are 4 years old. You played hide and seek?
We played hide and seek in the dark. So like, I'm sure you've played hide and seek in the dark, right?
When I was 5, yeah.
Yeah, where you're inside your house, you turn off all the lights, and then you just hide in a spot, and someone has to walk around and find you.
I wish I had your youth.
What do you mean? It's such a fun thing. Courtney randomly said, "Let's play." So like we all just fucking.
I love that Courtney. That was Courtney's idea.
Yeah, that was a Courtney idea.
That sounds like a Donnie thing.
Dude, when that idea came up, I'm like, who the fuck came up with this dumb shit?
My wife.
And then I was like, my wife. I'm in. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's fun.
So
that's so weird. He like went around he's like, everybody gets some.
And like the thing is like everybody was like a little bit annoyed of him because like the way that he was doing things while he was drunk, everybody was like tired of him.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't know if you remember the wedding. He and Nick were
they were fucked up, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, our group, we don't really judge each other for the things that we do usually.
Okay.
But I feel like our group is a little biased when it comes to like drinking, right?
Yeah.
They judge when
I see what you're saying. I agree. Yeah.
From what I can tell.
Well, that's when like you're kind of like your real self comes out, they say.
I don't know. I don't really change when I drink.
No, you're different. You're weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Because usually when I drink a lot, it makes me tired.
Yeah.
Like I feel really sleepy when I drink.
Yeah. Which is not often. It's like on your birthdays.
Yeah, it's very rare. Yeah. It's very rare that I drink. But majority of the time I don't get like heavily fucked up. So maybe I just got to get like super, super fucked up. Like I was super fucked up for my wedding.
Yeah.
Like I drank.
But you look tired the whole time.
Oh, I was so fucking tired.
Yeah, you look exhausted.
Like the more and more I drank, the more and more sleepy I got.
Yeah, it did look like you were more emotional than tired about the day.
Yeah.
But I kept looking at you and you just looked exhausted. And I was like, he's ready to lay down.
Yeah. And as well, like my emotions were kind of high.
Yeah.
So like the whole time, like I had McLean and fucking Nick. I love you, dog. Blah, blah.
They were
and
fun.
And then me, awesome. I'm just like, I'm going with their vibe. I love you too. You know, for how fucked up I was there.
They're like the real life wedding crashers.
Yeah.
Now they were invited, but they were so
it was just
crazy.
Their energy.
Yeah, they were awesome.
But yeah, so like we played hide and seek. You know, I found Jayu first. He was hiding behind.
I totally forgot Jayu went.
Yeah,
because Jayu just blends into the background anywhere we go. Right?
He was hiding behind the fucking water boiler inside the house.
Nice.
And like I was like reaching, looking for him, and then I didn't feel anything in there, and I was like, I guess no one's in here. And then I like went like my hand behind and I like slapped him on the forehead.
Yeah.
And I was like, bah! And I was like, what's that? Skin? And then he started to giggle and shit. And I'm like, I gotcha. And then I found everybody but Ziamara.
Where was she hiding?
She was hiding underneath the couch.
Was it like one of those small like this?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like that bitch fucking...
Her little ass got under there.
That bitch fit in a crevice.
Nice. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Also, not until this moment did I know how to say her name.
Got you.
Ziamara? that what you said?
That's her name.
Okay, I'm calling her Z. I don't give a fuck.
That's what most people call her.
Good. I'm not gonna remember.
Yeah, that's fine. They say a couple different things. That's why I just told her that she's my sister and that's it.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Because I'm like, I don't want to remember your name, even though I've already dedicated.
Oh, I do that too. Yeah, I go, hey sis. Yeah.
Yeah. I already dedicated a spot in my head for her name.
I gotcha.
You know,
it's sister.
it's stuck there now. Like I know her name, but I'm not gonna use it.
I gotcha.
I did have a funny part with her. Like I don't know why, but we were walking and she was walking this way and I was walking straight.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I was being polite to let her walk past me first. I wasn't going to just burrow through her, right? And she stopped while I was already standing there, and she was trying to let me go by first.
Nice.
And I was like...
One of those, like...
Yeah, I'm like, if you don't fucking move, and I just like...
Yeah, just shoved her.
I just shoved her. And then she went flying.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and then I just kept walking, and Pelos was just looking at me. He's like, you used to do that to me.
Yeah. I love that shit. When I know the person and like we're both trying to be polite. You and I have done that.
Yeah.
Like we're walking by and I'm like, move, bitch.
Yeah. Fucking. But yeah, like she just randomly paused. But the hide and seek was really cool. It lasted hours. It got to the point where McLean was the last person to seek, right?
Okay.
And we made a rule that nobody's supposed to go outside.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody stays inside the house. And during his turn, everybody went outside.
That's awesome.
We all went outside and then we just hung out there. And he was like looking upstairs. And I was like, we should all just go get in the pool.
That's awesome.
And me and John, we went, I snuck into the house, got my swimsuit, put it on, and then I snuck back out, got in the pool, in the jacuzzi with fucking John, and we were just chilling in there the whole time. And we're like, everybody, come on, let's get in the water. And no one else wanted to get in the water, and they were just hiding. And then he's like looking upstairs for like 20 minutes. He's like, where the fuck is everybody? And he comes downstairs and everybody's just in the living room.
That's awesome.
And then apparently me and John were still outside and he's like, where's John and Kyle? And they're like, oh, they're in the pool. And so then he goes out, like he goes to the window and looks, and when he looks, me and John duck down.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And he's like, nobody's out there. And then he fucking comes outside and he's like standing out there. We're still under the water, you know, because we have the bubbles and shit.
Right.
And we're just like hiding, and like I like peek a little bit with my eye out, and I'm like looking while like bubbles are like popping in my eye and shit. And he's just like, I still don't see him. And then he turns back inside, and then he's like, fuck it, I'll get in the pool. You know, and then like we like, you know, come back out, and then he hops in. He's like, when did you guys get in here? And I was like, we've been in here for like an hour.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You know, it was a lot of fun.
I don't.
Shut the fuck up. When we went to Johnny's brother's thing, his like house on the lake.
That was great.
That was really great, and I needed that. That was a lot of fun, all of us there.
It was one of those, it's been such a long time since I've gone and seen PJ.
Yeah, he was really nice. Nice to meet him.
He is one of the most like
down to earth,
hospitable people.
Oh yeah.
Like
very accommodating to stranger.
Like, yeah, to just complete strangers. He didn't even give a fuck.
Instantly nice to me, and he was like, anything you need, if you gotta shit or like, you know, whatever, come on in.
If you want to fucking kill a fish, do like
whatever you want.
Whatever. Yeah. He's like, I'll pull out a fucking rifle, you can go hunting.
Like yeah.
Just cause, and it'd be like,
and we were on the lake.
Yeah, we're on the lake. There's no hunting zones here. He's like, we'll make it up.
Really, really nice jacuzzi. That is at least $100,000 jacuzzi.
He had insurance.
Oh yeah, you told me this. Yeah.
He had a first jacuzzi that ended up breaking down.
Yeah.
And the insurance paid for like
an even better one.
A deluxe. It fit even more people.
Yeah.
And it was just like crazy better.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, he just
that jacuzzi was awesome.
Yeah.
And then playing on the lake was fun, and then whatever. There's one thing I regret about that day.
What?
We never finished the Alien game that we were playing, the board game.
Yeah.
We were having a lot of fun once everybody got the rules.
That Alien game is actually really fun.
It was a lot of fun right up there, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we were playing an Alien tabletop game, and it took us a minute to get the rules, but then, like, all of us were playing, and all of us were having fun.
I wasn't playing, but I was enjoying the watch.
Okay. I thought you were playing.
No, I kind of just guided with rules at first, and then once you guys got it down, I stopped talking.
Yeah, once we got it down, because it took a minute, it probably took a half hour before we were all like, oh, this is how we do it.
Because you have to do the setup where there's specific things.
Right, and like how the alien stalks you.
And you know there's a hard mode.
What's hard mode? Take away the equipment?
There's two monsters.
2 aliens? Damn.
Yeah. So the hard mode is there's a...
It was already pretty hard.
Yeah, it's ridiculously hard.
It's a hard game, yeah. And
the fact that there's another one where it's like because it's all based on like the movie, right?
Right.
There's a guy apparently that betrays the group.
Yeah, the android.
Yeah.
Forgot his name.
Book? He
Rook?
I don't know his name.
Yeah.
But he is the extra villain. So like he goes around and he does
we didn't play with him. I remember seeing it.
He does different things than the alien.
Fuck you up. Yeah. To fuck you up. Because he works
like he could steal equipment. He could
Whaling Corporation.
Yeah, he could take stuff, take it to other rooms.
Yeah. By the way, did you see the new Alien movie? I think you did.
I did not see it.
Oh my god, it's so good.
But I heard it did justice
to all of them.
And it's amazing.
It's awesome. It's a perfect throwback to the 80s one, the original.
Yeah.
And it's got new stuff, and it's awesome.
I will say this.
Do say
I personally have never cared for Alien.
Yeah, it's because you're a cunt.
But I've watched them all, and I've always enjoyed them. This one I haven't seen, and I would still like to go see it. Mm-hmm. But I'm probably not going to put in effort.
Did you see the quote-unquote prequel ones? Like, Prometheus and all that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. You'll like this one.
I'm sure I will. Like,
it's fire.
No, I will say this.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I think I've mentioned it before. I did go see Beetlejuice. And I believe...
Don't cross no fucking lines right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to cross any lines at the moment. But I believe if you go...
Kyle is an avid spoiler of things. And his defense is... Well, I don't care. I don't care if you don't care. I don't want to get spoiled for things unless I specifically say...
No.
All right, that's fine. So for example, when I was getting into Jujutsu Kaisen, because people say it's awesome. It's not that great, by the way. Overrated. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, I was like, oh, I really like this character. He's like, yeah, he dies. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? And, I, of course, made the mistake of going, oh, well, that sucks. Anyways, like, that's okay. Like, I didn't let it bother me. I should have let it bother me, because then he's like, oh, that means I can spoil something else for him. So then he talks about something else. I'm like, what the fuck's your problem? Don't spoil it. And you're like, well, I don't care about spoilers.
Well, no. Let me re-elaborate, because he's kind of throwing me under the bus for this situation.
Yeah.
I do give spoilers, but I only give spoilers if I hear you say that you don't care.
Right. Like, I made the mistake of not saying that I care.
If he had said, I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm really liking it right now, I'm on this spot, and then I'm like, oh, cool, I remember what happens there. And then if you don't say, like... Yeah, I can't wait to see it, or like if you don't give me the excitement of actually wanting to know, like there's just too much information already out there. For you to be that ignorant is one of those like
it's not ignorant, it's blind. Like I blind myself. Like I haven't seen, for example, like we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. I know. I've been doing that this whole time just to see if you would react. So anyways. Guardians of the Galaxy, I purposely turn off the videos or skip past them when I see it start.
Well, I don't watch trailers, for movies. I don't like
trailers. Right, because the trailers tell you everything.
They ruin a lot of them.
Right, and my ADHD will figure out what's going to happen with something already if I'm like, watching it.
But, so, going back to what we were saying, when I mentioned that you were like, that's my favorite character, I'm like, damn, that sucks. And you were like, what?
No, I think you instantly said he dies.
No. I didn't immediately say that he dies.
Okay.
I said, oh, that sucks. And like in my head, I was like, oh, I can't say that yet. But then you were like, why? And I immediately, oh, he's dead.
Yeah, you're a fucker.
Like I didn't skip. As soon as you said what, I didn't skip a beat.
You're a fucker.
I said it. And then you were like, what? And then I was like, yeah, that's a spoiler. My bad. I don't know if you care. And then you said, No,
I said, I guess I don't care.
Yeah, you're like, I guess I don't care. And I'm like, oh, cool. Well, if you don't really care, then I'll just tell you one other thing.
I was like, stop.
Yeah, and then you were like, no, don't do this. Yeah. That's your fault for leading me on. Right? So I'll say this. You told me the other day, because I told you about that I went and saw Beetlejuice.
Right, and I specifically
said... And you were
said,
like, don't ruin it for me.
Right.
And I'm like, copy that. All I'll say is there was this part that I did not like because I thought the character was useless.
Right.
Other than that, the movie was fucking nostalgic. It kept to its old style. Obviously, there was a little bit of new graphics, but who cares? It was still fucking beautiful and amazing.
Okay.
And if I had to give it, like, you know...
A rating,
I think it had a good solid 7.
7's good.
And... only because it hit all the checkpoints, it just felt like the movie was rushed.
Yeah.
And it felt like there was one too many useless situations that happened. And the ending, I did not like the ending.
Okay.
If that's a way of saying... Like, I love...
Keep it vague!
I loved the movie total. That's all I'm going to say. I loved the movie in a total.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they came out with, like, a DVD version... if there was like a longer version of it, because it just kind of felt like we learn about the people that we, you know, our childhood selves remember them. Oh, we learn about them. And then like everything just progresses so fast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like quick turn every fucking second.
Yeah. If you don't do it right, I don't like the time jumping.
But I think you'll enjoy the movie itself.
Cool.
And I want to say...
No, shut the fuck up.
I want to say one...
Shut up! No. No.
Okay.
Bad.
Okay. I won't say it.
Let me tell part 2.
But if you watch the movie...
Yeah.
Then I'm going to tell you that
That's
part.
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're calling it here for the episode. If you liked any of this, leave a like, leave a follow. Hit us up on our email at unapologeticvoices1@gmail.com. As always... stay unapologetic and look forward to listening to the other half of the story.